In this presentation, we shall learn about Java variables and data types. We know that a typical computer program receives input from the user, processes the input according to the instructions defined in the program, and generates the output. So a typical program uses various values, and these values keep changing while the program is running. For example, if we create a program that is used to perform calculations, the values entered by one user will obviously be different from the values entered by another user. This also means that when creating the program, we cannot know all possible values that will be entered in our program, because one user may input one set of values and the other user may input other set of values. So in such a scenario, we should still be able to manage the values that the users will eventually enter in our program. We have to devise a mechanism that would handle the different sets of values that the users may input, and that will be done with the help of variables. A variable is actually a location in the memory which has been assigned a unique name and where data may be stored on temporary basis. Moreover, the data may be changed as and when required. Let us take an example. If we create a program used to perform calculations, when a user enters a new value that would be involved in the calculation, to manage that value, we can temporarily store it in the computer memory. Asking the compiler to reserve an area of memory is referred to as declaring a variable. So we can put the desired but appropriate values in that memory space. After declaring a variable, when we need the value stored in its memory area, we can ask the compiler to retrieve it and hand it to us. To effectively handle this transaction, the compiler would need two pieces of information from us: a name of our choice for the memory area that will be reserved, that is the variable name, and the type of value that will be stored in that area of memory. What type of value? It may be some numeric value, it may be some strings, and so on. So when we want the compiler to reserve an area of memory for some values used in our program, we must set a name, also called an identifier, that will allow us to refer to that area of memory. The name can be anything of our choice, but there are some rules that must be followed. First rule says the name of a variable can be made of one letter only. It is possible that you have multiple characters also, but it is also possible that you declare a variable name with one letter only. Second rule says that the name of a variable can start with a letter. If we are having multiple characters in the variable name, then the name of a variable can start with a letter or an underscore sign or the dollar sign. The name cannot start with a digit. It means the first character of the identifier has to be a letter or underscore or the dollar sign. Third rule says after the first character, the name of the variable can include letters, digits, or underscores in any combination. And the fourth rule says the name of a variable cannot be one of the words that the Java language has reserved for its own use, that we call the reserved words or the keywords. Now we have declared here some identifiers or some variables names, you can say. Now let us identify which of these identifiers are valid and which are invalid, and if invalid, then for what reason. So first one is P. It's perfectly valid because the name of an identifier or a variable may be of one character and it's a letter. Second one is also valid. Now 1a, here we are having 1a. 1 is a digit. So first character of the identifier must be a letter or underscore or dollar. So it is invalid. Java will not allow this identifier to be used. Now A1 It's perfectly valid because the first letter has first letter first character is a letter and 1. Okay, then we have underscore 1. It's again possible because first character is an underscore character. That is okay. Underscore a1, that's again okay. Dollar symbol, first character may be a dollar symbol. Okay. Dollar p, underscore dollar p, it's again valid. Now FOR, first character is a letter, but FOR is a reserved word. It's a keyword. So FOR is not a valid identifier. Java would not allow us to do so. Underscore FOR, that is perfectly valid. Now capital FOR, that is valid or invalid? It is valid because Java language is case sensitive. Small FOR in smaller letters, that is not valid because FOR is a keyword, but capital FOR, that is perfectly valid. Underscore while, that is perfectly valid. WHILE, that is not valid. Reason being, it's a reserved keyword. My underscore var underscore 1, that is perfectly valid. So out of these identifiers, 1a, this one is invalid. FOR, this is invalid, and WHILE, while, this is invalid. Next is data types. So when declaring a variable, besides its name, we must provide the type of information that the variable will hold. The role of this type is to tell the compiler how much memory will be needed to store the values of that variable. Since able program is not the only one used in the computer, memory has to be effectively managed. So with the help of the data types, what we are doing is we are trying to manage the available memory. The type of values that a variable will hold is called a data type. As we can imagine, different variables can be meant to hold different types of values. So Java data types, we have primitive data types and reference data types. So data types, primitive data type actually are the predefined data types. Under the primitive data types, we have integer data types and floating data types and its different extensions. And under reference data types, we have arrays, then classes, then interface. We shall learn about or discuss about these reference data types later on. But for the time being, we are discussing about the primitive data types. Actually, there are 8 primitive data types, and this chart tells us about the size, what is the range of the values that could be accommodated in a particular data type. So let us start with byte. In case of byte, 8 bits are assigned for byte data type, and the permissible values are from -128 to +127. Then we have short data type. It's of 16-bit size, and the permissible range of values is -3 to 768 to +3 to 767. And then we have int, then we have long, then we have float, then we have double, then we have char, then we have boolean. So we will be using all these data types as per our requirement. For example, if we want to store the age of a person temporarily in a variable, so we don't need to declare a variable of double type or long type or not even int. We may use byte data type because the age of a person will certainly be less than this or within the less than this +127.